Welcome back, travelers, to Legendary Lore, where unfortunately Ricky could not join us. We're at war with Phyrexia, or he's at war with Phyrexia, and I could not bring myself to fight him. He is my best friend. He will have to be completed, though. That is an inevitability. So, hopefully he's not doing well and will be joining me here again soon. Just like this, complete. For now, I'm here to tell you about the glory of Phyrexia. Mispronounced by some as the story of Phyrexia. But no, this one actually is the glory of Phyrexia. Today, I'm going to be telling you all about Phyrexia. As you know, Phyrexia wanders. Phyrexia is not a thing. Phyrexia is perfection. We've had several homes. We've tried invading several homes. And recently here in New Phyrexia, we've had, well, New Phyrexia. All our spheres and everything. It's been just like the original Phyrexia. So I'm here to tell you all about that today. And we're just going to jump right in with the history of Phyrexia, going back all the way to Phyresis. Of course, you know about oil. Oil is misunderstood. It seems deadly, it seems poisonous. No, it's to make you better. Why would you need that pesky blood when you can just have it replaced with oil? Of course, it may hurt a little bit at first, but beauty is pain, of course. Once you have your blood replaced with oil, you won't miss it at all. You'll be perfect. You will be complete. That is the process of completion. Once oil gets into you, it starts seeping into you. That is an infection. But of course, for completion, that depends, because I'm talking about two different kinds of oils here. The oil previously, for the previously completed people, just infected them, and of course we had to go and replace their fluids with the oil. It is much more fast acting nowadays. The oil we have just infects people and completes them right there on the spot, or the oil can cause infections that just remove the need for the surgery entirely. It's been much more productive. But yeah, that is the original process. It used to be like an entire, people called it a sickness, but it was a whole process where the oil would seep into you, it would be surgically replaced, and we'd make Phyrexians, but those are outdated. Beautiful methods, but not necessary anymore. But that is how Phyrexians came to be, and that is what we tried to do. We tried to take powerful people and complete them. Did not work often. We've had our share of failures in the past. Such as in Old Phyrexia. We were found by the Thran, or the outcasts of the Thran, notably a man named Yawgmoth, who was the old father of machines. None of us have any real attachment to him, though. He was a failure. Yeah, he found Phyrexia and its husk and started reviving. It started using his Thran surgical method thingies to make new Phyrexians. Not new Phyrexians, those Phyrexians. He started using the oil and everything and turning Phyrexians and trying to attack the Thran, essentially, the people that outcasted him, to make new Phyrexians. I keep saying old and new. There is an old and a new. I apologize, this is getting confusing. My bad. But those were the Phyrexians of old, not the current Phyrexians. But yes, he tried to make Phyrexians from the old plane of Phyrexia. But yes, he was of course defeated, but the oil remained. One of the main fighters that tried to stop or succeeded, I suppose, in stopping the Phyrexians was Karn, our father of machines. He still believes that he was not on our side, but he had the oil in him, and he brought that to a new plane that he created, Mirrodin. Of course, this was a plane made by our father of machines. We had to take over this plane. And yes, it did not happen immediately. As stated, the oil was not as fast acting back then. So he made a plane of Mirrodin, made these Mirren people, brought a bunch of people. It's actually kind of crazy. So they lived in what they called peace and harmony, but it was actually not peace and harmony. It was the opposite of perfection. So the oil surfaced, and many Mirrens started turning into Phyrexians, and Karn was reliving the war from his home plane back in Mirrodin. And this time was interesting because he was at fault. He was he was the carrier. He was the one who brought the glory of Phyrexia to Mirrodin. And that's when we started taking over that plane. It stewed for a while. And yeah, there were constant battles between the Mirrans that were not turned and the Phyrexians, which were made of the Mirrans. And eventually, we Phyrexians conquered Mirrodin, and that was our new Phyrexia. There was a whole war about it. It was a siege of Mirrodin. There may be more sieges in the future. We're going to try to take more planes. And then, of course, you know about now what I was referring to as the new Phyrexians, or what is currently happening. We have the Praetors, which were made from Mirrodin. They are the new Praetors, or the current Praetors, because the original Praetor was Gix. But we have the new Praetors. LFre, she is the mother of machines, and she commanded all her allies. Vorinclex, he went to Kaldheim and took the essence of the World Tree. Jin-Cataxius perfected the Phyrexianizes and is the reason we have the fast-acting oil we have today. Urabrask, we don't really talk about Urabrask. And Shaudred went to Dominaria. I don't know if she was ordered to do that. But that's what all the Praetors were doing. But that was just a small history. Now we have the 9 spheres of New Phyrexia. Start off with the monumental facade. That is the outer sphere of Phyrexia. It is mainly for show. It has very large towers made of sinew, Phyrexian-looking stuff. They are very beautiful. No worries if one comes tumbling down, because another will take its place. You will always be able to see the glory of Phyrexia. Next, we have the Mirrex. We just leave that to the Mirrans. They fought pretty hard for that one, so instead of taking it over, we just destroyed it. There's nothing left for them. I doubt there are any Mirrans left there. I've seen some sometimes, but they're nothing compared to Phyrexia. But yes, you may see the Mirrex. It's more like a museum of what we can do, so don't resist Phyrexia. Next, we have the Autonomous Furnace. The Autonomous Furnace it was the first layer we made when we were starting to layer the plane and take it over. So it's a bit sentimental, but now it is taken over by Urabrask. He did do some completing in his time, but he doesn't really do that anymore. He actually just lets the Mirrans be, and I don't quite understand it. They're not doing anything. They're not serving any purpose. They're not serving Phyrexia. It doesn't quite make sense, but it's still there. It is very sentimental. And then we have the Hunter's Maze. It used to be the Mirran's Tangle, which was like a big forest, but now it's kind of a battlefield. You can find Glisa and Vorinclex there. There'll usually be... Do you remember, like, the arena there in Shang-Chi? The Shang-Chi's sister was, like, leading. That's basically what it is. It's pretty cool. I love it in the Hunter's Maze. It's so cool. You can see some battles. You can see who's stronger, fighting for the glory of Phyrexia. Come to the Hunter's Maze. Next, we have the Surgical Bay. It is basically where everything happens. That is where we can complete people. That's where Jin-Cataxius is. He is the leading researcher. You want to call him that? On that? So yeah, the Surgical Bay is basically where everything happens. He drained the sea, Mirrodin's Quicksilver Sea, which was apparently kind of cool. But it was nowhere near as cool as it is now. It is a giant oil reservoir. It is just oil. It's where he experiments on the oil. That's how he made the fast-acting oil. Probably because he has the giant reservoir of oil. It's so cool. That is our Surgical Bay. Next, we have the Dross Pits. Not much to go into there. It used to be ruled by the 7 Steel Thanes, who were in conflict over it. But then, Shaudred just came and took it over, and now it's just a big trash can because Shaudred's there. I don't really know. You don't really need to go to the Dross Pits. They are beautiful, though. Even our trash in Phyrexia is beautiful. That's what it means to be complete. And you have next the Fair Basilica. It's where you can find all of Mirrodin's old Mycosynth, which were beautiful structures that were influenced by the Father of Machines. Of course, LFre, being the Mother of Machines, has taken it over, and that is where she rules from. That's where she gives the orders, that's where she sends people out, that's actually where she's operating this invasion of all the other planes. Everything's happening in Norn's domain, which takes place in the Fair Basilica. It is a beautiful place should you ever be able to see it. Next we have the Mycosynth Gardens, which were the original core of Mirrodin. Don't count on seeing this one though. The Mother of Machines does not let anybody in here, and supposedly they are empty. There's not even rumored anything to be in there. It's just a complete mystery. But those are the Mycosynth Gardens. They are a core of us because, leading from the Mycosynth Gardens, you have the Seed Core. This is where the original ruler of Phyrexia, the original new Phyrexian Memnarch, lived. And he had an observation deck called the Panopticon. We have spoken about the Panopticon before. I was probably making a joke about cake or something, as I did before I was perfect. But that was the throne room. It is now a prison for the Father of Machines. He's not really a prison. He wants to be the Father of Machines. He just hasn't accepted it yet. But if we need to keep him there a little longer just so he accepts it, that's fine. We can do that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and give us a like if you liked the video, and subscribe to catch more of the glory of Phyrexia. Almost done with this Phyrexian story. After this, we go into March of the Machines. Hopefully Ricky will be back for that. Let's see what's happened by then. In the meantime, catch you later.